Gatlinburg for the Dare conference. I get a phone call from my mother. And my wife will explain to you, I'm a very, very emotional person. Like, just because I'm a police officer doesn't mean I'm this solid, rock hard guy. Like, I don't mind crying. I don't mind showing my emotions, right? So I get this phone call that my aunt, who lived in Memphis, Tennessee, had killed herself in her vehicle at a park with a shotgun. And I'm not ashamed to tell you guys that. So for me to hear that and deal with that was a real life-changing experience. When mental illness hits your own home, that's when it hits you a little different, when it knocks on your front door. And my wife will tell you, I've seen things, I've been in a negotiation for 6, 7, 8 hours. The guy ends up killing himself on the phone with me while I'm talking to him. These are things that we have to keep our mental health at task, right? We have to stay on top of that, guys. If I can give you any type of advice, my advice to you guys would be, please keep your mental health intact, because at any given day it could slip, or we could think about something that happened, or we experience something in our lives, and that could change in a second. So is it difficult to be a police officer? 100%. I'm sure this young lady's job is difficult. I'm sure this young lady's job is difficult. And now I'm calling you young ladies because I don't want to get a bell put on me or something like that. But and young man, I want to say this too in front of all these people. You have a super bright future ahead of you. And our children, our community, our village needs to see you do your thing as an educator, okay?
What is a challenge? For me, in education, it's just being, not fitting the stereotype that some people have about Black women, like hostile or, always ready to argue or something. Now I will, but I pride myself on always being professional, and I think that surprises people sometimes. Because I am vocal, I am very loud at times, but I'm also that one, I get that from my mom, I observe. So I sit back and I just watch, I read the room. And so, my colleagues will tell you, like, when Tony's quiet, she's thinking, she's processing. So I think that's, it's like my hidden gem or whatever, because, I'll come out with, hey, well, why not do this? And I'm like, oh, we didn't think of that. Or, well, no, that ain't gonna work because of this, this, and this. So I think, and again, being an African-American educated female in the school system, they don't always, they'll tend to overlook you or try to overlook you. But then you have to, your test scores, or, I get, again, my expectations in my room are high. So they come into my room to observe, the superintendent, the big league, they come in my room, they're like, oh, your kids are on task. Why would they not be? Like, why is that not the expectation? Right. So, they're like, oh, they're doing this. Why would they not be? Because I could take some of my students to one of the better schools. They would run around them all day long. But they don't expect that. So, especially again, being in an inner city school, they don't expect that. So when they come into my classroom and they see me up there working hard, and then they see my students working hard, and then they see our test scores, they're like, oh, what are they doing over there? They must be cheating. No, we're working. And my students get that, they get that pride, they get that confidence. Like, oh, we're just as good. No, you're better. You're not, you're better. So,
First things first, I want to mention how this question really made me ponder for maybe a couple hours. And I typed it out probably about 3 or 4 times, but I want to go back to my original answer. After hearing everyone's answer, I was like, it was meant for me to say my original answer. And
every time, we just did.
As a man of color going into the field of education, a challenge that I faced within my first year of college is somewhat wanting to filter myself to stay within a perceived profile. What I mean by that is I didn't want my stereotypes be placed upon me just because of my physical appearance. But I came to a conclusion that the things that I was filtering were the things that truly give me the power to impact.
Hold on, wait a minute. Say that. Wait. That's all right. You know, like say that one more time. That's all right.
The characteristics that I were filtered.
Come
the
on now, I'm
characteristics
sorry, but
that I filtered were the characteristics that truly give me the power to impact. So that's
Because they think of black males,
Mhm.
sports, that's the first thing.
Yeah.
I just think, oh, I'm gonna be an NFL, okay, well, great, but what you gonna do after that?
yes.
Or what
I
you
mean,
gonna
do you even know how
that-
powerful
That
what
is,
you
listen,
just said?
that's what I'm saying, that's what I have to let us out.
It's crazy because
Listen to me.
I completely changed my answer I was going to give out, but I felt I had to go back.
And so like when we were talking out in the hallway, like you as an African-American male in secondary math, you can write your ticket.
That's pretty
Like-
rare.
Like that's so, I mean, I was trying to recruit them to Nashville, like. calling people like, look, we need you.
Wait, Miss Tony, and I'm finna interrupt you because I'm finna go back to myself. I don't have all the educated experience, I don't have all of that thing, but you just gotta know, like when God choose you,
Put you on that path.
look, that's just gonna speak by itself. When God choose you, brother, that's a whole different lane. Like you're over here. Like you don't have to go through all of the extra stuff. When He choose you, you're right here. He already see you beyond the light. Like with me, that's what I had to think of myself as. Like Loretta, He chose you, meaning that He got a bigger destiny prepared to you than what you're sitting in right now, and you don't even know. You don't even know. And that's the reason why I gave you the word back there. Like you don't even know. You don't even know what He has prepared for you, but you just have to be bold and confident in that. See, the difference is with other people and me, it's a lot of people that does hosting, MC, and moderator, whatever they want to call it. But the difference between me and them is I carry God with me every step of the way. When I say every step of the way, every step of the way. And I'm okay with just being who I am. You be cool with being who you are. Be cool with being who you are. I tell y'all that all the time. These my teen hey babies, y'all give it up for them. Saying their own. But I'm telling them because I instilled it inside of them all the time. Be cool with being who you are. Because it's not going to look like what everybody else is exposed to or what y'all have been exposed to. It's not going to look like it. It's not. So the way that God has operated and given Miss Tony a gift, that's not what He's going to do with you. You might as well wipe it away. It's not. It's not. Because maybe it took her this long, but it's not going to take you that long. But you have to see yourself like that. See, I see myself like that. I'm not near where God is going to take me. I truly believe that. Still inside me, but still, I'm still going to operate in Miranda every day. I'm still going to give y'all meat every single day. Because He gave it to me and He chose me. He chose you. You're chosen. Let it resonate in your spirit. You're chosen. You're chosen. So He gonna follow you and carry you along the way. Stop sitting on stuff. Just like you said, He gave you something, speak it. When God give me something, listen, I'm gonna say it. And if I'm not meant to be in the room, I'm not meant to be in this room. But I just look at it as if He's prepared another table that's bigger. That's how I gotta see. That's how you gotta see yourself. And not just pointing to Him, I'm speaking to everybody. Every young person, every me that's in the room, or even older, it's still the same. You. I don't know why He pointed me at you, but you. A prime reason. You're chosen. He's giving you entrepreneurship for a reason. Trust and believe that it's going to be successful. Don't doubt yourself. Don't doubt yourself. It's a process. We all have a process. I have a process. each one of everybody in this room, that we have a process, something that we have to go through. There's trial and tribulation there and all of those and throughout the process. But how are you gonna respond is the question. How are you gonna respond? I'm speaking to y'all, but I'm talking to me too. But that's a part of the village, y'all. It's a part of the village. I think the thing is right now that I'm the most proud of is y'all have the right people in my circle this time. With any trial and test that I go through, I know that I have a village. I have the right people. And that needs to be a lot of people's prayer in this room. And I don't know why I'm acknowledging that in this moment, but I think to be who do you have around you that even when you don't want to get out of bed, even if you don't want to push forward, even if you don't want to operate and be a police today, and I just want to be myself, who is encouraging you? Who do you have around you? Who is helping you? I got some pastors in the room, ministers, all of the things. Like, who do you have in your circle that's encouraging you? How can we be an asset together? Y'all, we need each other. That's the reason why I acknowledge that we're family in here, because we need each other more than anything. Y'all, we dealing with some tough stuff. You can't do it by yourself. There's so much power in this room. There's so many resources in this room. So many. Y'all know what we can do together? Y'all not realize how powerful y'all are? And I'm not even talking about physical, I'm talking about spiritual. How many believe in God in the room? Y'all got a relationship? Okay. What is God? God is what? Love, right? Come on, y'all. Come on, this is what the village is for. We look for it to be into other people, but it's not. It's us. It's us. You got to start somewhere. Stop making excuses, and we just got to start. And challenge each other. Push each other to our full potential. I see life in you. I see what you can do. I see ideas. Operate in it. Tap in it. Don't be scared. Just take a risk. Just take a risk. We all have purpose. We all have purpose. And if you say that you believe in God, and if you say that you have a relationship, you got to tap into what that looks like. Look at you first before you look at everybody else. I'm talking to y'all, but I'm talking to me too. Check self first before we look at everybody else. And then tap into the thing that God has instilled inside of you. If you're a true believer of who God is, y'all, let me tell y'all, we're in a season to where God is not playing with us. Amen. He's not playing. That's the truth. He's not. And y'all got to stop defining other people that y'all think that aren't qualified. We got to stop doing that, because we're going to miss it every time. Because it's the unexpected that's going to be doing the impossible. Do y'all, like, I need y'all to sit with that. It's the unexpected that's doing the impossible. It's the people that y'all think that aren't capable are going to be capable. And it's not going to take them that long. It's not. Because once he give it to them, they're going to shoot off. And they're going to be able to interrupt some stuff. Please don't invite me if y'all think that I'm not going to come in and interrupt some stuff. Don't invite me. Please don't. I'm going to tell y'all right now. Because it's going to happen every time, y'all, because I trust God for real. I believe that there's going to be a change. I believe there's purpose in all of us. We just got to change. How can y'all have expectations on our children if we don't want to change? We can't do that. We can't put expectations on them and want them to change. But look at us. Look at us. We can't even get along. We can't even go and sit in the same facility and not talk about one another. We're judgmental. We label people even before they even get a chance to even sit down and even have a conversation and get to know them. Y'all, it's time. It's time. It is. It is time. We gotta wake up fast, or we gonna miss it. And I'm on a God's train. I'm not lying. I'm not waiting. I'm not. Whatever he tells me to say, I'm gonna say it. Wherever he want me to go, I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna question it either. I don't care what age you are. If you are a child of God, we gotta operate like it. And just know that it's not gonna look like the norm. It's gonna look different. It's not supposed to. We so used to norm. And y'all, and time is going by. What is the norm? Come on, y'all. Anybody else have anything before we move forward?
I forgot the question.
I'm sorry.
Because that was powerful.
Sorry, y'all. Sorry.
That's okay. It happened.
Yes. We all are gifted with a tool that God has given us in order to reach others that we come in contact with. How are you utilizing it in your field or in your life?
What's the next one?
Oh, okay. What professional challenges do you frequently encounter in your career?
Professional challenges.
And how do they impact your ability to serve?
I wouldn't so much just call it a challenge, but it's ever changing. It goes back to what Tony was saying earlier. The different personalities. I have over 1,200 women. So it's a different personality with each person. So just getting up and dealing with different things that one may go through. You can go to work every day and you can have your home life going on. You can have things going on with your family. You can have things going on there, and then get to work and have to hear somebody else's. But knowing how to separate the two says a lot. Even when you come home, you have to separate the job from when you come home.
Talk to them, please.
There is a separation. And just thanking the families for working with us when we have to deal with things like that, because that's a lot. Those of you that have family that actually work in corrections, period, that says a lot. There's a lot of things that we see that we don't talk about. Because if we did, everybody couldn't handle that.
That's right.
By no means. You would fold instantly, just at the sight of the conversation. But dealing with those different personalities, and not just so much with personalities, I'm not even just gonna speak about dealing with the residents, because we don't refer to our inmates as inmates, we refer to them as residents.
Love that.
So, just being able to separate the two. You also have staff. That's conflict. And one of the biggest things outside of just my job and even outside is communication. If you cannot communicate, everything's going to crumble. You have to learn how to communicate. And just because you say certain things doesn't mean that everybody interprets the same way. The only way you can have a conversation, it takes two people. And you have to make sure that everyone understands what you're speaking about. So I would say communication and dealing with different personalities. One of the things, and I joke about this, I understand for the men who say, yes, honey, whatever you say, just be quiet, just get out what you gotta get out, and let's get this conversation over with. Because after working with them women, I'm like, just get to the point. They're gonna tell you about how they were born, what they did in their teenage years, what they did, all just to say, hey, can you call to the infirmary? I didn't get my medication today. They're gonna tell you how they started the medication. So I understand that. But just make sure that communicating, that's a big factor in the separation, having a balance. Being able to balance. You gotta have a life outside of. I look around in this room today, it's a lot in here, a lot of individuals in here who have impacted my life. which is truly a blessing.
Y'all give it up for that.
And a privilege when you can actually sit before them and you can see the fruit of your labor.
It is.
So I give you all flowers. Miss Alberta.
Come on, y'all give it up.
Miss Diane.
Yes.
And charge it to my heart if I don't call everybody's name, because it's quite a bit. But I give a special shout out to this woman, because she was my mentor and she didn't even know it. And that's Sister Yolanda Jones. It wasn't until I stepped into this role that I shared with her in a public setting. At work, she came in to be a speaker, and that's when I let her know. So I'm grateful. I say all that to say you never know who's watching you. The Macklins. Yes. And my brother Michi.
Love it. Anybody else? Tony, you got some?
I mean, just the, just to piggyback on what Shakira was saying, absolutely. I brought my fiance home for the first time, so I know it's crazy. So I was showing him the big city of Dyersburg, and I was like, "Ooh, this is da-da-da-da." And so in my neighborhood, I introduced him to some of the people who truly helped raise me. And everybody was like, "Oh, I remember when Tony was this," or "I remember when Tony was," it was like, you know, you just don't know. You just do not know. I mean, I know Dyersburg is Dyersburg, and you know, we all take our different paths, but it's nothing like home. It truly is nothing like home. And I know it's, you know, when I talk to my students and they're like, "Well, we doing this," and I can't relate to that because I didn't have that. And so many students don't have male figures. That's what I was saying with you, like, yeah. But male figures, so many people don't go to church or don't know God, or, you know, they quit, "Oh, God." No, you don't, you can't even go there. Or, you know.
I can't believe you just said that.
That's what, I mean, it's
That's
really-
exactly what it is.
That's
Exactly what it
You
is.
don't even know what that means.
Yeah.
Hush.
Exactly.
Hush.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the impact that people have had on me, I mean, most of you know my parents, you know, the swimming pool and sports and all of that. I would not truly be the person that I am today without that, and without my family, without my friends. My fiance back there is like, "You know everybody," and I do. I mean, but that was my dad. So anybody that knows my dad, that was him. So you just have to communicate. You have to be authentic. You have to have that work ethic. I saw my parents work day in, day out. I take that into my life. I mean, it's just the impact of a village. I know we all say that, you know, it takes a village, but it truly takes a village. Because everybody has a strength. Everybody has something that they can give. Everybody has something that can be received. And as an educator, you learn that. You know, because I'll go home mad, like, "Ooh, I can't believe she did that," or, you know, "She said that to me," and he's learning a lot about becoming a husband to a teacher, because I'm like, "Dude, this happened today." And he's like, "All of that?" And I'm like, "That was just from 9 o'clock. That was just from 9 o'clock. From 9 to 10, that wasn't all day." I'm like, "How do you teach?" You figure it out.
Right.
You figure it out. But I can't do what I'm contracted to do until I get to that other part. So I'm part of that village, and because I had a village that raised me.
Love that. Y'all give it up for them.
I was gonna say something.
All right, we're gonna move forward. Matthew 10:13 states, if the home is deserving, let your peace rest on it. If it's not, let your peace return to you. How does this scripture resonate with you in this time frame, in your career or lives?
So I typed this one out. This one's pretty deep. I don't know where you were going with it. You tried to dig really deep with that, but so before I answer this question, I want to send a shout out to my wife, my best friend, because without communication or strong foundation, backbone, you have nothing. I promise you that you have nothing. So I love you, Ashley. I did. So to answer the question, I put, my wife and I have tried to share the blessings we found by putting God first in our lives, seeking His wisdom in every decision, learning to sow generously into others, and building a relationship rooted in purpose and faith. We've approached family on both sides with hearts open, hoping to be a light and a testimony. But instead of being received, we were met with rejection. Not because of what we carry now, but because of who we once were. Some chose to focus on our past relationships, our old mistakes, rather than the restoration and transformation God has done in our lives. So we've made the decision to remove ourselves from those spaces that don't honor what God is doing in us. Not in anger, but in peace. We choose to love from a distance, to protect the joy, unity, and blessings that God has entrusted to us. We refuse to let anyone steal the peace we fought so hard to find. And lastly, sometimes walking in, listen to this, young man, sometimes walking in wisdom means walking away, not in hate, but in hope that maybe one day hearts will be ready to receive.
It's all right talking about you ain't know where I was going.
Yeah,
You did it. Break it down.
So for me, peace is extremely important. I used to be that person, and I still am, I'm still working on it, but that person who had to have everything organized. You know, I would stress over, everything had to be that way. But as I've gotten older and wiser, you learn peace. You learn that inner peace. Like, it doesn't even matter. You learn that, like, peace in your house, all the drama at school, like she said, that balance, leave it there, because it's gonna be there tomorrow. But it's not going anywhere. It'll just be a different day.
Sure.
Maybe some added people, maybe some, whatever. But for me, peace is important because it's that self-reflection. You see where you've been, you see where you are, and you see where you want to go. And you have to protect your peace by all means. And walking away from people, absolutely, absolutely. And they're gonna talk about you. I tell my students, now the thing with them is, it's snitching. No, it's not snitching if it's helping me or if it's protecting you.
Correct.
That's not snitching. So you have to self-reflect. You have to go through those necessary steps. And it's not easy. It's not easy to get your peace, and what my peace is might not be somebody else's peace. But what works for you will work for you. My fiance always says, I'm gonna have peace in my house. And I'm like, absolutely. Absolutely. Right, absolutely. So yeah, you just have to find what works for you. Find what works for you on this day, because peace is consistent. It's not up and down. Once you find your true peace, you're in your own world.
Love it.
Kind of pretty much what's already been said. With work, it's kind of hard because you have those different people that you have to encounter. Not everyone that comes to prison is bad. I know that sounds crazy. But there are some true, genuine people in there, and often it's strange, but a lot of them find God in there. And sometimes you're the only light that they see. And they can teach you one thing that we have to remember, we can never stop learning. At whatever age, anybody can teach something. So I'm grateful for that. But like it's been said, that peace. I can go to work and I don't ever clock out at 4 o'clock. If I do, I'm leaving early. That's the time I'm supposed to leave. But 5, 6 o'clock. And I'm grateful for my husband, because if I didn't have to bring him lunch at 6:30, I probably would still be at work. So, but just finding that safe place. Sometimes that drive, I work in Henning, so that 45-minute drive is that peace, that moment of peace. And not so much that you always have to have a person present. You got to get it within yourself first before you can get it from someone else. They can add to it, but you got to find that peace within yourself first. So for me, peace is everything. But that passion that I have with working with people and helping people says a lot for me. As long as I see someone else happy, that excites me. And that might sound a little crazy, but I like to see others happy. I'm one that wants to find the goodness in someone else. I don't care how bad the apple may be. And we talk about an apple, but at the end of the day, they say when it gets to the core, it's rotten. But in that core, there's a seed.
Come on, seed.
Once that seed is planted, it's gonna do what it's set out to do, and that's to bear fruit.
Right.
So in spite of, you still have to find that good, that common ground, even within yourself. Because we all know that we've all done some things that we probably weren't proud of. And I'm not gonna say we done a 360, because if you do a 360, you're gonna turn around and result right back where you started from. So that, what is it? 180. So when you turn that 180, it makes a big difference.
That's good. Y'all give it up for that.
This scripture resonates with me in the aspect of acknowledging that every situation I may want to help in may not seek the answer or resolution that I provide.
Come on, brother.
And
Right.
as a college student, it acknowledges that every group of people may not share the same beliefs or aspirations as me, but that's the time where I maintain my peace and just separate from that group. And it's perfectly fine to go through that.
And another thing that I want to add on to what everybody pretty much said, because those were amazing answers, is a lot of times we try to define people right where we've gotten the opinions of other people and how they experienced it, if that makes sense. Let that sit with y'all. Let it sit there, just for a second. Because we struggle with that a lot as people. That's why the village is broken. Another reason why the village is broken. Because y'all gotta know that people have time, they can heal. They can grow, they can become who they're supposed to be, who they're destined to be. And by doing that, y'all can cause them to relapse and make them go back. So we have to be careful when it comes to that too. On top of what everybody else just said. Because we speak on this village, y'all. I'm going back to this village. How the village works. How the village works. That's why we're here. So I just want y'all to take a moment, because we're coming closer to the time where we're going to do a Q&A. But how are you an asset in this village? How can you operate in what that looks like? What tool can you bring to the village? And we're not talking about old things. We're talking about new. New. Because sometimes you gotta look at yourself like, would you want somebody to still be talking about the things that you've done before you got married? Before you graduated college? Before you got this new job? before you sit at this new table? Come on, y'all. Let's self-check ourselves. Because now we got to get back to this. Okay, so we're going to leave here, then what? We're going to go back to our normal lives. We're going to go back to our jobs. So what we going to do? How we going to become whole? How we going to unite? ... That's the next question. So I want that to sit with y'all. We're gonna leave that with you guys. And I'm gonna let them tell you how they gonna be an asset. I know I'm gonna be an asset. I'm gonna keep talking, keep speaking. I'm not gonna shut up. I'm sorry, y'all, maybe that was too blunt, but I'm not gonna be quiet. Because I know what God has given me. I'm operating in purpose now. I couldn't say that 2 or 3 years ago. But I got it, y'all. I'm happy that I got it. I'm not perfect. I'm imperfect. But I'm chosen, and I got it. That's what brings me joy. And I'm not trying to be perfect. All I can do is just give you LaRonda. And that's what y'all can do. Wherever y'all go. Just be you. Don't try to be anybody else. Be yourself. Be bold and confident in what that looks like. I'm not saying that you're perfect, but be you. However God sees you, be that. Continue to grow. That's what I wake up every day and I just say, what can I do to be better? How can I be, I try to make myself available. And that's the thing, you gotta make yourself available. You gotta be willing. That's relationship with God too, right there too. You gotta be willing and able. You gotta come say, look, these kids done got on my nerves today at school. But listen, I still gotta be willing and able because this is purpose. I may not know what tomorrow brings, but this is still, I'm operating in purpose. Let's go, let's get it. I say, devil, what's good? That's just my response though. What's good? Come on, let's go. And then finding that balance, like she said, finding the balance between, all right, here, well, this is what I'm operating in, but at the same time taking that self for self too, to make sure that self is good. Because that's all God. That's what He stands for, right? All right. So how can you be an asset?
Why are you looking at me first? Like, I've been over here like scrolling through my phone. My wife would tell you I have these little quotes in my phone in my notes where I just kind of jot things down if we're in church or if I feel that it's very, very pertinent in our lives. So this first one I want to say is, it says, you may not like me, but you need to love me because I'm you in the future. So sit on that one for a second. If the enemy doesn't like you, then he or she will distract you. That's where it comes in, is that ascension is offensive. Think about that. And I'm gonna throw one more in here and then I'm gonna be done, okay? I'm like you, I like to talk, so. I put, make sure your purpose is bigger than his antics. I put, where you came from can't hinder where you're going. All right? So, say the question one more time for me. I just wanted to throw those quotes out there for just a second.
We just gonna say what it all says. How can you serve as a valuable resource for individuals seeking transformation, growth, and alignment with purpose?
So, my job is so different on this panel than everybody else's, so those type of questions are extremely difficult to answer. But the best answer I can give is wherever God leads me is the best answer I can give, because my job can change at the drop of 2 seconds. I may be helping doing something with the gang unit guys or I may be out cooking hamburgers and hot dogs for, you know, children that don't have that type of food at home. So I told those people when I came in that I'm kind of a Swiss Army knife at my job, because I may have to go do some things that I wouldn't put on my worst enemy to do, and then turn back around and I get called out at 3 in the morning. My wife is like, I'll see you in a day or so or something. But what I want to do is try to change, like I said, go back to the question earlier of perception of police officers. I can't do it by myself. Like you said, it takes a village. Because like I said, police officers have such a bad perception of hurting people, killing people, doing things that they're not supposed to be doing. And like I said before, I can't change that or speak for those people that made those dumb mistakes, but I can only do what God allows me to do in my community. I know you guys are, I kind of feel overwhelmed being in Dyersburg. Everybody's sending shout outs like, yeah, you grew up, you knew me when I was a kid. I'm this dude from Jackson. It's like, yeah, I know we're family, but it's kind of hard. It's like, everybody's looking at me like, who's this dude? Like, but it's cool. Quit laughing at you. My wife is laughing back there. But I do thank God for you allowing me to be on this panel with such great people and such a promising future with this young man right here. Mom, whoever mom is, you've done a phenomenal job with that young man. And if you want to exchange information, if you ever need anything, Mom, Dad, I'm there. Whatever he needs, I got it. Okay?
Listen, okay, you got it.
Yeah.
I'm the little sister.
I got you.
Continue my purpose. So, like I said, I just completed my 28th year in education. So, technically I have 2 years left and I can retire. I mean, that's not me, so I'll still, So, just continue to be present, continue to be visible. Never did I think I would be a middle school teacher. I mean, that just wasn't on the plan at all. So just being open to whatever God has for me. I do want to write children's books, I think.
Come on, you're gonna write them.
Yeah, the books that I'm going to write later, yes, but after that dissertation, like, we get it right. But yeah, just continue to be a mentor to younger teachers. I do want to get into like curriculum writing, I think, because the curriculums that we do have are not geared for African American students. So yeah, it's got to be something. Well, I know it's something better out there. So definitely that. But just continue to walk in my purpose. Enjoy married life eventually, yay. I'm just open. I'm, like I said, I'm at a point where peace, you know, is just there. So whatever I can do for whatever mentoring, like I said, come to Nashville, I got you. I can get you hired on a waiver or something like that. But yeah, so just to continue doing what I'm doing, being open to new suggestions from friends, from family. Thank you for inviting me back, Petey. We've been friends forever. Felicia, sorority sisters, you know, the Macklins, Connie back there, I played basketball with her. Constance, I see a lot of people, cousins and everybody. So, I mean, just, it's a true privilege and a blessing to be able to come back home and to see people that I grew up like, ooh, and now I'm grown. And they're like, oh, look at you. Thurman, I mean, every time I see him, he's got the biggest smile and the biggest hug for me. So just knowing that home is home is a good place, can always come home. But yeah, just walking in my purpose, whatever God leads me to do.
Y'all give it up for that.
Well, being a warden is big shoes to fill. I'm actually I started out the youngest warden in the state of Tennessee, assistant warden. So just continuing to be a light to the ladies that I encounter inside of there, and also the interaction I have with family members, because even though I communicate with them, I have to communicate with their families as well. So just even, I know as far as being an educator, you all in those parent-teacher conferences, you know, sometimes you might be a light to the family members as well, even those difficult ones. But just continuing to grow and learn daily, and continue to do what God has called me to do. And learning, let me say this, one thing that I learned was to be specific. I asked God to work with children, but I didn't specify the age limit. So, please, in those prayers, be specific. Because he gave them to me. But just continue to grow. And I don't mind continue to work with you either.
I second that.
Yes.
I love you. You make me cry. Look, I'm emotional for real.
So, my purpose, it's a lot. I too have 7 years to go before retirement. And every day I say I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. But I know that it's not gonna stop there, because my ultimate passion and my goal is to open up a transitional home.
And it will happen.
And in other terms, that's a halfway house for those people when they get out of prison, to be able to have somewhere to go. So, and those same young ladies to come and work for me and be a light to those that come. I pray that we eventually close the doors to the prison setting, and so that you and I can be out of jobs, because that's a blessing to the community.
100%.
Oh, give it up for that.
I'm praying that one day we are able to shut the doors to a prison setting, because that will put me out of job, as well as Brother Kozar out of a job as well. I'm ready for those days, because that will bring peace within the community and within this world.
Well, to finish this off, a way that I can continue to be a resource for others that are seeking growth, transformation, or a purpose is just by continuing to be an example. Because as role models, us as role models, just continuing to maintain our level of discipline, continue to seek out our goals, we can plant that seed of dignity into the other people that are also seeking those same aspirations.
Alrighty, y'all. Give it up for our amazing